Hello students. So in the previous class we were talking about the different types of a planet which is present on the earth, which is the part of our solar system. In this student we discussed about that of the Mercury, we discussed about the Venus and that of the earth. We talk about the earth, that earth is the only planet where the life exists. Earth is having this suitable condition which makes the living organism to survive there. So life exists because of the atmosphere, because of the temperature, because of the availability of water, because of the presence of the oxygen, because of the presence of the atmospheric gases, as well as because of the presence of the blanket which cover the atmosphere, that is ozone. Now water, student, if we talk about water, so earth is covered, the 3/4 part of the earth is covered with the water. It means 75% of the earth's surface is covered with water. Okay, and because of the presence of the water and that of the trees on the earth, you see that we from the outer space, when you see the earth, you will find that this earth basically it appears blue-green in color. So blue-green in color because of the presence of the water and that of the green plants. Okay, so the light used to fall on the surface of the water and that of the land masses and finally it get reflected. So the reflection it makes it to appear as a blue-green. If we talk about the gases, students, so you see it is covered with a thin layer of atmosphere, and out of that you see 99% of the earth's surface consisting of the nitrogen and oxygen, and only 1% is consisting of the carbon dioxide or the water vapor is there. Okay, and you see students, the earth it consisting of the temperature, like it is having the minimum range, the range of the temperature is about 15 degrees Celsius. If we talk about the period of the revolution and period of a rotation in case of our earth, so earth rotate, it takes about 24 hours for the earth to complete one rotation on its axis. That is the period of rotation of the earth. And period of revolution, it will take about 365 days to complete one revolution. That is the period of revolution. Okay. Because the earth is tilted at the plane of the axis, the earth is tilted little bit about 15 degrees, and due to which there is a change in the season that we can observe. Now later on we talked about that of the Mars, student, and we discussed about what is a Mars. Mars is the 4th planet if we compare it with the distance from that of the Sun. So we will say it is the 4th planet. Okay, 4th planet is the Mars one, and you can say it is the second smallest planet also. Sorry. Okay, so it is the second smallest planet. This planet is also known as a red planet. Okay, so it is also known as a red planet. Why is it so? Because of the presence of the iron oxide. So because of the presence of the iron oxide in it, this iron oxide gives it a red color. Okay, so the surface appears red because of the presence of the iron oxide, and thus this planet is also known as red planet. Now what kind of a surface is there of that of the Mars, students? So you see the surface is plain, dusty, volcanoes are there, high volcanoes are there, and due to which craters are also there. Okay, so we can say it has a great dusty plain, large volcanoes, and large rift valleys are also there. So large rift valleys. So these are all the things which is present on the Mars. Great dusty plains are there, large volcanoes are there, and large rift valley is also there. If we talk about the period of the rotation and period of revolution, especially in case of a Mars students, so you see what is the period of a rotation of the Mars. So period of rotation is 24.6 hours. So it will take 24.6 hours to complete one rotation. That is the period of rotation. And the period of revolution is 687 days. So it will take us 687 days to complete one revolution. Okay, so period of rotation is 24.6 hours and period of revolution is 687 days. Okay, so this is all about the period of rotation and that of the revolution. What about the temperature, student, and what about the atmosphere? So the atmosphere basically consisting of the carbon dioxide gas. Okay. So atmosphere mainly consisting of the carbon dioxide, and the atmosphere is thinner than that of the Earth. The atmosphere of Mars is thinner than that of Earth. Mainly consisting of carbon dioxide. So it mainly consisting of a carbon dioxide gas is present here. Okay. What about the size, students? So its size is just half of the size of the Earth. Okay. So if we talk about the size, so the size of the Earth is size of the Mars is half of the size of the Earth. Of the Mars is half of the size of the Earth. Size of the half of the size of the Earth. Okay. So the atmosphere, student, it is thinner than that of the Earth, and the size is just half. We can say almost half to that of the size of the Earth. Most of the atmosphere consisting of the carbon dioxide. Now, not only this, students, the temperature. So there is a temperature variation during the winter and during the summer. So the temperature ranges from minus 120 degrees Celsius to the 25 degrees Celsius. So we can write it. The temperature on Mars ranges from minus 120 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, so minus 120 degrees Celsius to that of the 25 degrees Celsius. This is the temperature variation that occur in the Mars. Okay. What about the natural satellite, students? So there are two different type of natural satellites. Like on Earth you see only one natural satellite, only one moon is there. But on Mars there are two natural satellites present, and the two natural satellite is Phobos and Deimos. Okay. Consisting of two natural satellite. What are these two satellites, student? First one is Phobos and Deimos. These are the two different. So these are some of the things that we should know about the Mars. That how the Mars it is, what kind of atmosphere it have, what kind of gases are present in the Mars, as well as the temperature range of the Mars, that is from the minus 120 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius, as well as the different types of a natural satellite or different types of a moon, like that of a Phobos or a Deimos are there on the Mars. Now one more thing is there, student, and that is Mars is a home of a very large volcano which is known as Olympus Mons. Olympus Mons. So we can write it. Mars is the home of Olympus Mons. Olympus Mons, which is the largest volcano found in the solar system. Which is the largest volcano found on the solar system. Okay? On the solar system. Whose height is about 27 kilometer and its crater is about 81 kilometer deep. So we can write it. It stands about 27 kilometer above or high, while its crater is 81 kilometer wide. Okay, so it stands about 27 kilometer high and while its crater is 81 kilometer wide. So this is about that of the Olympus Mons, which is the largest volcano found in the Mars. Now let us discuss about the next planet, and that is Jupiter. Jupiter. Okay. If we talk about the Jupiter, students, so you see Jupiter is the fifth planet, fifth position in case of the solar system. If we talk about the solar system, so this will comes in the fifth position, which is from the distance of that of the sun. Okay, so if we see the distance from that of the sun of the different planet, Jupiter will come in the fifth position. So we can write it that it occupies fifth position from the distance of the sun. Okay, so it occupies the fifth position from the distance of that of the sun, and that is known as Jupiter. Now if you compare the size of the Jupiter from that of the other planet, so it is the largest planet of that of the solar system. So we can write it that it is the largest and heaviest planet of the solar system. Okay, so it is the largest and the heaviest planet of that of the solar system. And see student, it is this much big that it can occupy all the other different planets inside it. It means all the other planet could also fit inside this large planet, that is Jupiter. So we can write it that it is so large that it can occupy all the other planets in it. Okay, it means all the other planet could easily be fit inside that of the Jupiter planet. Now we are saying that this is the largest one. So if we compare the size of that of the Jupiter to the Earth, then what we will observe, student, we will observe that Jupiter is 1,000 times bigger than that of the size of the Earth. We can write it. Jupiter thousand times bigger than Jupiter is 1,000 times bigger than that of the size of the Earth. Okay, that of the size of the Earth, and the mass is about 318 times to the mass of the Earth. Okay, so mass of that of the, because we are saying it is not only the largest but it is also the heaviest planet. So we can say that its mass is 318 times heavier than, the mass is 300 times heavier than that of the mass of the Earth. Okay, so the mass is 318 times heavier than that of the mass of the Earth. This was about that of the Jupiter, that how the Jupiter is the bigger and heavier than that of the Earth planet. Now you see students that it is this much bigger that we can see it easily through our naked eyes in a clean night sky. So we can write it. It is this much bigger than we can see it easily in a clear night sky. Okay, in a clear sky. Okay, so it is much bigger than we can see easily in the clear night sky, students. And not only this, it is the second brightest planet in our solar system. So before that, when we were talking about in that of the Venus, we said that Venus is the brightest planet. But here Jupiter is the second brightest planet. So we can write it. Jupiter is the second brightest planet. Okay, so the first brightest planet is the Venus and the second brightest planet is that of the Jupiter. Now you see, students, Jupiter, what is the composition? What kind of gases are there, students? So when we were talking about the inner and outer planet, we said that inner planet, basically the surface is rocky, but the outer planet, which includes the Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, they basically made up of hot gases. So Jupiter is also made up of hot gases like hydrogen and helium. So we can write it. Jupiter is mainly made up of hydrogen and helium. Okay, so it mainly made up of hydrogen and helium gases. Okay, so it is made up of hydrogen and helium. What about the rotation, students? So it rotates so fast than that of the other planet that it can complete its own axis. It means it will rotate on its axis within 10 hours. So the period of the rotation or that of the Jupiter is 10 hours. How 10 hours, students? Because of the movement of the Jupiter. The movement of the Jupiter is so fast. Okay, so we can say that Jupiter moves fast. It rotates very fast. So fast that it can complete one rotation in 10 hours. What does that mean? It means the period of rotation is 10 hours. Okay, so period of rotation of that of the Jupiter is 10 hours. So period of rotation of that of the Jupiter is 10 hours. What about the period of revolution, student? That how much time it will take to complete one revolution around that of the sun? So it will take almost 4,331 days to complete one revolution around the sun. It means the period of revolution is 4,331. So we can say that is period of revolution. Jupiter takes 4,331 days to complete one revolution around the sun. One revolution around the sun. Okay, so the period of revolution that it takes about 4,331 days to complete one revolution around the sun. That is the period of revolution of the Jupiter around the sun. What about the temperature, students? So the temperature, it varies. It is from that of a 121 degrees Celsius. Normally the temperature is minus 121 degrees Celsius. But the temperature may reaches, it means the temperature may increase and increases up to that of the 70 degrees Celsius. So we can write it. Normally, the temperature of the Jupiter planet is minus 121 degrees Celsius. So it is about minus 121 degrees Celsius, but it can increase up to 70 degrees Celsius. Okay. So the temperature, it varies from minus 121 degrees Celsius to that of a 70 degrees Celsius. This Jupiter is having we can identify the Jupiter by a spot. A big red spot is present on the Jupiter, and it is believed that this spot is basically due to the cyclonic wind that used to move very fastly on its surface, causes the red spot on its surface. So we can say that Jupiter is having a characteristic feature. Jupiter, a characteristic feature of Jupiter. A characteristic feature of Jupiter is the presence of a red spot. A characteristic feature of the Jupiter is the presence of the red spot on its surface. And this red spot is basically due to the movement of the fast or due to the fast moving cyclonic waves. It is believed that this red spot is basically due to this red spot is basically due to the cyclonic wind which moves with a high speed, on the surface of the Jupiter planet. So we can write it on the surface of the Jupiter. So you see here students, the characteristic feature of the Jupiter is the presence of the red spot. A red spot is present on its surface, and this red spot is responsible because of the high speed movement. High speed moving cyclonic wind is there, or we can say the cyclonic wind which move very fast on its surface causes the formation of the red spot on its surface. And this is the characteristic feature of the Jupiter. If we talk about the natural satellite, so you see here student, Jupiter is this much big that it can accommodate all the planets. So you can understand that it is having the maximum natural satellite in it. That is, it is having 67 moon on it. So we can write it. It has 67 moon, which is the largest natural satellite presence on a planet. It which is the largest natural satellite on a planet. Out of these 67 students, the 4 is the largest one, and the 4 natural satellite is very known to us, is very familiar, and these are Europa, Io, the largest. Out of these 67 moon, out of these 67 moon, the 4 natural satellite known to us are Io, Europa, then Ganymede and Callisto. Okay. Okay. Callisto. So you see that it is having the maximum natural satellite, that is 67, and out of this, these are the 4 main natural satellite present on the Jupiter. Okay, so this is all about that of the Jupiter, students. Okay.